bot lane against the Fed Yone, right? Who also has Rift? Or do we just all go for Bar and try main rules, we can call them, is preferably let her use her passive on us, right? So walk up, for example, we walk up, let her passive go down, right? And then we immediately looking to back away and play around that cooldown. For her Q, we can look to let her use only the first part of the Q, just Q1 on us, right? And then we immediately back away and let her use Q2 on a minion, or let it simply run out. And once Q is going to be on cooldown, that's when we can walk up and look for a fight. Right, so that's about Q. About her W, this is approximately like that. Right, so let's say this is going to be the sweet spot of Camille W, and this is going to be the other one which doesn't slow you, doesn't do enough damage, doesn't heal her, right? So usually when Camille's use W, they are walking up towards us, right? So what we can do, in case we will not be out of the range of it, right, and walk out of it, what we can do is walk towards her. So what will happen is she'll walk towards us, and she won't expect us to go towards her. So what will happen is we will go in that small spot which is like close to her side, right? Just like with Darius Q, for example. We'll take less damage, right? We'll take less damage. She will not get healed, and also it will not be as slow. And while her W is casting, what we can do in that meantime is, because she cannot really auto-attack or anything like this, we can pull off, for example, an auto plus Q, while she will not be able to really give any damage back. Her W, the closer part towards her, does very little damage, so it doesn't really matter that much. About her E, what we can do is, preferably, when you would not like to let Camille use, like, hit her E on you, right? You would like to be playing either in the middle of the lane, so here, or just in general to be playing around this line, so like in the middle of the lane, not too close to walls basically, right? Because when you'll be here, right, and she wants for example to go from here with her E, she has to travel quite some distance, or like it will be the same from here. She has to travel quite some distance to get on top of you, right? So this is something very beneficial that you can do, and you can give yourself much more time to be able to react on her E. So first that. Second, you're also like discouraging her from using her E. And something else, Camille's, when they use E, sometimes they hold it. So they will go on the wall, they will sit for like a second. I think it will be like a second or like a second and a half, right? And then they will use the other part towards you, or they will back away. So just make sure to either use your Q3 or your E once the second part of her E has gone through, and you can see where she's actually going towards. Is she coming towards us, or is she going away from us, right? And we just play, depends on how like she's gonna use her abilities. And about her ultimate, we can use RE to cancel her ultimate. During her ultimate, we can also use RE to create some distance, for example. So let's say she will jump on us with ultimate, right? And the ultimate range, let's say it's going to be this much, for example, right? Once she jumps on you, then you can look to use your E and create some distance, win some time, so she will not be able to utilize the damage increase that she gets from her ult, right? That one, for example, you can look to initiate a fight with your E, and then if she ults you, you can stay in her ultimate for quite some time, so your E is going to be extended, depending though if it might be over. So that, and if she goes out of the like if she goes out of the ultimate, right? Let's say she's over here and she moves out of the ultimate, then your E, when it's completely over, it will not hold it anymore, because the ultimate of Camille is basically over, right? Since she walked out of the circle. So that's going to be about general rules against Camille. Whenever obviously she's going to be walking up for CS and they will be low, you can be looking to go for a Q. And usually when you'll be doing that, she will usually be looking for a W, so prepare for that. And either react on her W or either predict it. And you can be going for trades like this. Bait out the passive like we said, and then you can be initiating with your E afterwards once her passive is down. Preferably do not get hit by Q2, right? And that's it. So say for example, let me go back quickly, and here you guys can see the thing that I was talking about her W. If I get Q3, I hit her, she's coming towards me, right? And there we go. I go in the small part of her W, right? This one, she doesn't get any heal, damage is greatly reduced, and I'm not slowed as well. So going through that. Now we just need to play it a tiny bit safe. So here we had to play a tiny bit more safer. I didn't fully respect her level 2. And as you can see, once I saw that she had level 2, I knew that most likely she was going to go for E, and that's why I was staying this far away from the wall. Because I didn't respect it that much, once I walked up for the Q on the minion, she looked for the opportunity to go in like this. I tried to dodge it, but the hitbox still hit me. And here she did in Q3 afterwards. We were still able to trade back, and it was not such a bad trade. Then we get the Q off as well. We pop the potion, and the trade, considering that we had a level disadvantage, was not really that bad. This one we can be looking to poke with Q3 and W, just like that, and we get back the HP advantage. She pops a potion, and we're going to be approximately the same amount of HP like she will be. It is currently a cooldown, so we know about that. She has no Q. Soon she's getting level 3, there it goes. And now we like that we phrase sometimes we can be looking for a W bait from her, maybe E potentially. So it doesn't really hurt to do so. There we go with her W, just going in and out of the range, trying to bait it out. When she's going to be walking up for the CS, we can be looking for W, just like that. And if we want to be looking for the Q3 poke, just max range like that. And if it hits perfectly, if it doesn't, you're completely safe. Here, what we are looking to do, and what I'm doing in this game, in this particular game, is we are trying to keep the wave as close as possible to our side. So when we do that, we will have the advantage when it comes about staying safe from ganks. Also, something that we have to consider in this particular game is our jungler starting from top side, which means he is doing blue, Krags, wolves, and then heading towards bot side, right? And we have no jungle push. So just keep the wave in this side, closer to our side and frozen. Just thinning out as much as possible and poke in the meantime, whenever we get the opportunity to do so. Is going to be very crucial for the few early levels for us to be able to get the kill on Camille, or just get her low enough where she has to recall and TP back to me. We're also fairly safe from ganks in case they're jungle looking for something like that. And then we go, right? This is something that I was mentioning before about her E. So when we go like that, when we know that she's close to the wall, it is very obvious that she will be looking for the E, right? Because when Camille is very close to the wall and she goes for the E, you have very little time to react about her E, right? Because the travel animation to go to the wall and then to jump immediately on you is very little, like this first part, right? It's very little. So what you can do is sometimes you can walk towards towards the wall that she's standing at, and you can bait out her E, just like I do here in this particular case. And because of that, this opened up the opportunity for me to look for the kill. So there we go, right? Once I saw that she was actually jumping towards me, that's when I used my E and I got out of the range. And not before that when she actually used the E like the first part. I reacted on the second part. Right, she gets a tower shot here. Here we get a nice quick trade, and right now because I know Q's on cooldown, because she just used it, right? There it is. It's going cooldown. So Q's on cooldown, W's on cooldown, and E's on cooldown, right? So she has no abilities, and passive is down as well. So she basically has nothing. In this case, even though she has this whole minion wave, we have Ignite and we have the HP advantage, which means we can be looking to walk up and look for the kill, just like you will see guys in a minute. And look for the kill. Only thing we have to do is not cancel any auto attacks and hit our Q, right? Plus Ignite and we get the kill. So let's proceed. Right, so here I see that she's walking up for this minion, and because I see that she's making a mistake, I'm walking up immediately, popping the Ignite so I can get as much of the full damage from the Ignite as fast as possible, right? And the moment that she will get to attack me will be too late. The HP difference between the two of us is going to be way too big. So her having this whole wave over here and also ignite will not really make a difference in this particular case. We get to hit the the Q as well, right? Walk up to her and get the first blood. At this point, because there is going to be a wave building up, we can be looking to cross the wave, get Q3, let the whole wave come over here, just like that, and then use Q3, because the goal currently is to shove in the wave and make it crash as fast as possible. So utilizing Q3, Q, and W is very, very crucial. And in this particular case, somebody might say, okay, this is true, you're very low HP, she just got back from base because she died with TP, right? And you can potentially die. But here comes the neat part. With Yone against Camille, you can look to prevent Camille from actually killing you, right? You can cut with your E, you can avoid her E, Q on that first part, let her hit it, and then use E to kite away. W, we have a big wave as well over here, right? And our HP is not that low. It's like 40-ish percent, right? So once she walks up, we can be looking for W to block her W, or for the E like that, get the wave, and right now, there were no minions from her side, right? If she tries to walk up towards me, I have Q3. So as you guys will see here, I go for the Q3. She tries to do this, immediately flash away. I could have looked for the flash actually in this particular case to go like that, because she's going to be looking to go this way as well, right? And I had the big minion wave. She had no passive as well. My Q was coming up, and this was going to be a win for me if I actually flashed over here. So this is one misplay by my side. And with Lethal Tempo, this was going to be a very big win. Now her E is on cooldown. If she walks up towards me, just W like that. Actually, just Q, W afterwards. And as we can see, the HP is fairly even between both me and her, because I played it fairly well when she tried to engage and when she tried to walk up and prevent me from crashing the wave and killing her wave as well. Right? Having the big wave and me killing her wave made her the only target for my minions, right? Which is something very big in this particular case. Even though she gets sort of a freeze here, she's fairly low on HP. This will eventually start to be a slow push towards my side if I'm not mistaken. And she's getting this quick ward over here, which is by standing on top of this plant, placing your mouse cursor over here, and it goes right into the bush. In this case, we spot Fiddlesticks being on top side. Camille is looking for the recall. We sneak through the bushes just for a little bit, and even though Camille will stay here, this will be fine for us. We have E. W for her W. Bomb plating goes down, and now because her Q is up, she might be looking for an E. Right, so we just save our E from Harry. Now this is a slow push towards my side. And once the wave will be coming towards me, sometimes you can be looking for like small trades and just poke. And the goal at this particular case is, since the wave is coming towards my side, she will not be able to clear this wave in time, that her wave will actually crash on my tower, right over here. As we can see, the next wave is pretty close at tier 2. So until she gets to crash this wave, I'll actually kill those minions over here, and her wave to come towards my side, I just pull the wave for like 2 to 3 seconds max, and then I will have the wave approximately at this particular price, right? Echo, as we can see, he recalled and he's coming towards top side. So this freeze over here is going to be very beneficial for me. She cannot really recall because I obviously will have the freeze, so she'll be looking to either kill me or crash the wave, so she can get a clean recall. Right, her jungler recalled and is on bot side. Right now he should be going towards bot side. So no jungle pressure from her side, and Echo is coming, right? So it's about like 30-ish seconds for us to win in that time for Echo to come top lane, and for us to just stay fairly healthy up to that point, so we can set up the gank and be helpful for Echo. So as you can see, the wave is coming. Even if we can pull it to the side and keep it, it will just half crush, which will be completely fine for us as well. Right, so here just trade some damage, her W with my W. Here we can be looking for the max Q3 range just like that, and if it misses, it is okay. Once the minions will get low enough on HP, we can be looking for the Q. Just W, Q like that, right? When she walks up for the low HP minion, because when the minion is that low on HP that it's one under away from being dead, we force her to decide, like, is she walking up and getting the minion but trading HP, right? Or is she giving up the minion and preserving her health? Right, she's walking up here, go walk up for the Q. We miss it, but it's fine. And because Echo is coming up here, we just initiate with E, so just in case something bad happens, we're going to be able to immediately go back to our E and be safe. So here, just cut a tiny bit, get the cooldowns, Q, Triumph, W, and at this point, lane is pretty much over for Camille. Echo is going to help us shove in the wave, so we can get a clean recall. Making sure to use W here in this particular way, so we can hit again the whole wave and Q3 to finish off the wave in the bush. And right now what happens is, since my wave just crashed, what will happen is a bounce back. So once your wave crashes, eventually there is going to be a slow push coming towards your side, right? So slow push coming towards your side. So what we can do is just simply rinse and repeat what we did a few seconds ago, which is get the wave to freeze over here, and Camille doesn't really have that many options. If she tries to walk up and look for any minions or to harass us, we'll be in a very nice spot. She will not really be able to use E, because if she does, it will be most likely a fail, right? We'll have the item advantage, and this is how top lane is over in the first few minutes of the lane. So let's just fast forward over here. In the meantime, the wave will be slow pushing towards you. If the slow push is going to be very slow, what you can do is, for example, make a rotation towards mid lane. Maybe you can be looking for the kill. Maybe you can be looking to drop downward. Use maybe a plant for vision. Maybe get scuttle. Just something like this, right? So just to fulfill your time until you see that the wave is coming closer and closer to you, so you can go back at lane and catch the wave which will be coming towards your side. In this case, the wave was fairly close. We just play controlled, see what's happening. Camille is over there, so we have to walk back to lane. This is a tiny bit of a vulnerable spot for me because the wolf is right behind me. So here, if I'm not mistaken, I was a tiny bit in trouble. Very nice dodge by her. I get my Q3, and right now, because I know she's going to be looking for the ultimate, that's what I'm waiting for. I'm waiting for the ultimate from Camille to go off, and what I can do is I can use either my Q3 or my E to go over the wall and just basically waste her ultimate. I also see that Echo is over here, right? So this way I can also win some time for him. So what I do is, once I see that her ultimate is going off, I time my Q3 perfectly so I can go over the wall, get the knock up. And right now, because she's playing TP Ignite, ultimate is down, E is down. This is a free kill for Echo. Let's go with the over the wall. No need to use our ultimate or potentially like risk it, or we basically even use it. It's not really necessary. So we get the nice kill on Camille here as well. Make sure to crush the wave as fast as possible to shove it in. Q3 on as many minions as possible at the same time, so just line up the whole wave. Get this wave to crash. In the bush, we can be looking for one plate if it is low enough, which in this particular case, it is going to be decently low. And because we saw that Fiddlestick was on both sides, we can stay, get the wave, try to get a plate, and even if Camille comes and she tries to look for a fight, we are fairly healthy. And what will happen will be one of the two scenarios. Will be we either kill Camille, or we just do pretty good trades with Camille that we just recall, and Camille will be on pretty low HP. She'll be like 20% HP, for example, right? After we have done some beneficial trades for us. And when that happens, like if this is going to be the scenario, what can happen is once we recall and we come back to lane, because she'll be fairly low on HP, right? And she'll be like, oh, okay, Yone can potentially sneak up inside the bushes, right? And look to kill me. Like look, or like ult from inside the bush. And this will make her just slow push the wave, like slow push it. And this is gonna win us time to go back at base, right? Recall. Come back at lane to our wave, which is gonna be slow pushing towards us. And then we get the freeze over here. She will have very low HP, no TP. Even if she goes for the plants on the divot, she's pretty much fucked. So at that particular case, she has two options. Stay, which equals die, or recall, oops, which equals lose XP slash gold, right? And this becomes very frustrating. And then the only way for Camille to get out of the situation is for her to call her jungler, look for a gank either through the bush over here or a lane gank. And what we have to do at that exact moment is drop down some vision. At least have one ward either in the bushes or in the bushes at lane or in the bush over here at river. If we ward over here at the bushes, we would like to stay close to the left side, because if Fiddle tries to come this way, we're going to be able to spot him. And if we decide to ward the river bush, we would like to stay closer to the right side, right? Because then when we stay close to the right side, we'll be able to see if Philosticks will come through here, right? Look for the ultimate, and then going to be able to react. And if he comes through lane, then we're going to be as far away as possible from the bushes. So here she uses E. I react again on the second part. Kite back. Keep my distance, stack up my Q3, and then get my Q3. Can be looking for some poke under the tower as well. We know all of her cooldowns, all of her abilities are on cooldown. Felix is on both sides, so we're not a lot scared. At this point, whenever she's walking up and she's looking to last hit the minions, we can be looking for some poke. He is coming up at this point from her, but my E is up too. So we can be more aggressive. Stack up Q3, we can see that she went for the ward. So we can use E, Q3, get a nice trade. So once the knock up on her was over, immediately go back so we can get our cooldowns and attack her again without her passive shield tanking as much damage as it could have tanked if we actually stayed on top of her after the knock up. Right, and after that we just stay for a tiny bit more, and all of those trades are gonna, like, even though this was a somewhat even trade, right, it is still beneficial for us because she has no ultimate. We have ultimate plus ignite, so with the next time she walks up and her E is going to be up, we can be looking for the Oli, right? So this is beneficial for us. You know, it was even, or even if it was going to be a deficit, right, like a bad trade for us, HP wise. Right, so at this point we just wait. We just need to wait for E. We have crashes. Fiddle is on both side, and because I see that Fiddle is still on both side, I just stay in the bush, wait for her to come back and try to push towards me. Right, we go for a small trade here, keep our distance, go for the Q3, and as we can see, we got very nicely. And now when she attacked me and she went for the outer Q, and she popped her Q and her passive as well, it didn't really benefit her that much because the passive is wasted and so is her Q. Now passive and Q are on cooldown. If she walks up, we can be looking for the ultimate. Right? It just depends on how the player plays it afterwards. Because now we know that we have the upper hand, we can be looking to walk up and harass her even more under the tower. E is coming up, we can be looking for WQ like that. Stack up our Q again and look for the one shot under the tower. So now that when she's going to be walking up for CS, we can look to harass her, stack up Q. And now what we would like to do is go from this far away with EQ3, ultimate, and ignite to look for the kill. Alright, let me mute this. And why I went that far back to look for the Q3 then ultimate is because if my Q3 was going to take me here, for example, I was going to be way too close. So she was going to be able to ult me, right, and potentially fuck up the whole play. But when I Q3, let's say here like I did, and I hit my Q3, the second part of it, right, because Q3 is this one, right, and the first part is where the champion, like our champion, hits targets and knocks them up and deals damage, and then the second part is just the wind, right? And we were looking just for the second part. For this part, we hit Camille like I did in this case, and we can be looking to combo it immediately with ultimate and secure the kill. So we hit ultimate, immediately W into Q and ignite, immediately go back to our E, and perfect. Alright, so we kill Camille, wave crushed, and now wave is going to be slow pushing back to us. We'll get a clean recall, buy items, and come back to our lane, which is going to be slow pushing back to us. We'll get the freeze, and we just rinse and repeat. Right now, wave, as we can see, was pushing back to us. It was still like slow pushing, and once we see Camille that she's going back to lane, right, we just drop the ward down quickly, and we have to go back to lane so we can catch the wave. Even if we will not get the freeze, it will be fine. We'll be able to catch the wave and not lose any minions. And right now, because what happens is whenever you push a wave like that, usually if you are high elo, like if in this case it is 300 LP give or take masters, right? People immediately go and drop a ward, so they're gonna be safe once they're gonna be approximately here, like Camille will be, right? Because the wave is over here, so my wave and her wave are going to meet approximately over here, right? So this is going to be a freeze for me. For her to be safe, she wants to come over here and drop a ward, and because I know that, I use the Q3, which was stacked up from Rift, to use it on her. As we can see, she's walking up towards me, Q3, and go for the quick fight. Right, her E is still up, so we were just looking to like push her away from the way that she wanted to go at, get a quick clean trade, flash on her because we knew where exactly she was going to be, and right now her ulting is a very big mistake because she is going to extend the duration of my E and me getting the kill. But if she didn't actually ult me, I was going to go back to my E. She was going to be very low HP, but actually survive. But this was going to be still pretty bad for her anyways. It's just like both situations are fucked up for her, but one is more fucked up than the other. So in this case, again, because of her ultimate, she extended the duration for E, we get the kill. And now because we got the kill, we want to make sure that we shove in the wave again as fast as possible, so we can deny all the minions from this wave, right? Get the plates as well. She was forced to use her TP. And right now, because we are pretty strong, we just wait inside the bush for a tiny bit. It is kind of unexpected for somebody when they have gotten so much gold to not recall and stay still in lane, right? So that's pretty good whenever you do that. It's just not expected. Some people might expect it, but it's a very small minority of players. And right now, because she didn't walk up and she actually went over here to look for the rotation, right? Seems like she knew something was up. I immediately see that and just push the wave, right? I want to make it, again, crash another tower so I can deny CS. Because if she decides to go for this play over here, it's not guaranteed for her to actually get something, right? And if she doesn't go for it, and she wants to come back on top lane, then she will not be able to go for this fight, which is happening over here on Drake. So this will force her to make a decision. Like, do I go back on top lane and try to catch the wave, or do I go towards the fight? And whatever she does, it is still good for me, because if she comes back to lane, then she wasted all the time going from top lane to mid and then back to top lane. And if she doesn't, she's coin flipping as to like getting something or not getting something. And for me, the best possible thing to do right now is just get the wave to crash, and then again force her to make a decision. And most likely, when your player is this behind, and when they try to go for a fight, like this one, the skirmish which happened over at bot side, right? They usually don't fit something. In this particular situation, the enemy team just simply got Drake. Camille wasted her time. She didn't get anything back for her time, so this is very tilting, right? And it puts us very bad ahead. Now she's looking for a play on Victor, as we can see, but she still cannot really do much because she's so behind, right? So all the time wasted for Camille, and she might potentially die here from Echo, like she does. So this is a very, very, but very big win for us. And these kind of mistakes happen whenever you play the right way, like I do in this particular game. And you create pressure, right? Like your opponent becomes tilted, there's pressure on them, they're very behind, and like what can I do? What can I do? What can I do? What can I do? And when you limit their options as like what they can do, they just go and do some things out of desperation. And that's how you can force mistakes and make them to go even more, to stay even more behind, destroy their mental, and their teammates are going to be flaming them as well. And quite possible for them to be playing jungle diff, right? And the whole mental of the enemy team is going to deteriorate. Right, so here we are just going to skip a tiny bit. In the meantime, we get Krugs because this way we can deny resources from the enemy jungler, and there is no point for us to walk up here because there was not much for us to do. Right, so we get Krugs in the meantime. We can be looking to stack up our Q3 right before we finish Krugs. I did not use my Q here on the big Krug, just wait for the small ones. And here, because I see that there is nothing really much for me to do over here with Camille. I will be way too far up. Bot lane is missing, jungle is missing as well. Right, so it's too risky for me to walk up over here and look for a fight against Camille. She can lock me up with ultimate, with E afterwards. I can get ulted by Fiddlesticks, silenced, feared, right, and just give a big bounty away. So my best possible option in this particular case is to go towards mid lane. I see that Jace is pushing the wave and he's looking to make it crush. So this is a potential play for me to look on mid lane. Just using E this way here so I can get some vision, check that red buff is down, only Raptors are up, and Fiddle isn't really here, so he has either recall on his or his around bot side. Right, and here a very good play by my Victor. We get the ultimate quickly, W, get the kill on this guy, and immediately walk back towards top lane after we get the recall and buy items since we have 2.9k gold. We quickly gonna skip through this part. We get to catch the wave on time without really losing anything. And now, Jay's mid lane, Bolton is on bot lane, Camille is missing. So only one we have to worry about is Fiddlesticks. Camille is showing up on bot lane because if she comes on top lane and tries to do something against me, she cannot really, right? She will die. I have Borg, I have everything I need in my possession to do whatever I would like against her. So again, this is out of desperation to try and get something to come back in the game, right? So she's going somewhere else, and the majority of the time, when you have made your top lane to be that behind, right, your enemy top lane, right, which you're facing, they usually go to try and do something like this, and it fails 8 out of 10 times, right? And again, best play for me here is to keep on pushing top lane, keep on pushing my lead, and whatever happens on bot lane or mid lane or wherever ever else it may be, it is not in our control. So keep on doing whatever we can do in this particular case, right? The best possible move that we have. In this particular case, it sort of works out. They get 2 kills, but if I'm not mistaken, my teammates were able to get something back or not. So the enemy team got 3 kills, but I can't really do that much about it, right? There were some things happening over there. My Victor dies too. But again, I can't really control any of these things. Right, so I keep on doing whatever I can. Keep on shoving in this wave. I see that red buff just spawned. I cannot get this tower because it will take me way too much time until Camille has recalled, bought items and came on top lane. I'm not really going to be able to get this tower, so I immediately back away. Look to go for red buff. I also have QSS, and I see that Fiddlesticks is on mid lane, making his way towards top side because there's nothing else for him to do. He was on bot side, he got whole bot side jungle, right? Then now he's mid lane, and the only thing for him to do right now is to come on top side. Krugs are spawning, red is up, right? And we know about 3 guys. Well, we know about Camille being on top lane, their bot and mid lane being on bot lane, right? So the worst possible case here for me will be for Camille and Fiddlesticks to try and kill me together. But this isn't really something that I'm really worried about. I can kill Camille. She's not a threat to me. I have QSS for Fiddlesticks when he silences me and fears me, right? So here my idea was, I know Fiddlesticks is coming. I will stack up Q3 like this, and once he walks through here, I will be able to look for the kill. But it took him a tiny bit more time, not quite sure as to why. So Q3 expired. We can see he's going towards red buff. Not really that expected from them for me to be over here. Waves on top lane just met, so Camille will show up anytime soon. So there she is. She was doing Krugs, and there we go. QSS coming into play over here. Right, we immediately QSS the fear from Philistics and get the kill on this guy because he is very squishy. He dies from Ignite. I also get to get the Fed buff, and Thresh coming here thinking he can actually do something against me is anything but correct. Right? And Camilla coming over here afterwards doesn't really bother me, right? She's very weak, I'm so much stronger than her. So we immediately commit for the fight, keep on going, keep on going. And since we see that Krugs are up, Camille is over at top side, Ari is coming up. We can be looking for the play against her. She's walking up, immediately punish. Get the small Krugs, crush this wave, crush the next one, which is already over here, as we can see. And quickly get the recall, or we can potentially look to get the tower. Jace is on mid lane, Jinx is missing, Camille is going towards mid lane to look for a play. And here Jinx is walking up. Jinx is very weak, we have red buff, we have E, flash, right? So it's not really that difficult for us to actually look for the kill against this guy. It will have been much more preferable from them for Camille to come on top lane and try to duel with me rather than Jinx. Because Jinx is obviously a much easier target for me. So this is a very big mistake from Camille forcing Jinx to come on top side and to try to duel with me. And as we will see, the result is going to be quite bad for them. So they are making a fight over there, I'm pushing on top lane, and Jinx feels pressure to try and defend the tier 2 tower for me. Right, I'm 4 levels up on this guy, immediately just walk up with Q3 and E like this, and what I have to wait for her right now, as we can see, is her E, right, her traps. Once I see traps are going out, that's when I will use Q3, so I can get over them, and even though she ignites, it doesn't really matter, right? I mean, she exhausts. So the idea here was, so once her traps will go down, like they did, for the first like second to second and a half, they do not really have any impact, right? Like this time over here has to go by from the first moment she casted her traps, and that's when they root you, right? So that's why I was waiting for her to go out, and then for me to use Q3 and get on top of Jinx, because if it was going to be too early, then she was going to be able to place them on top of me, right? And if I was going to be too late, then I will just get rooted by them without really being on Jinx immediately this way. So 3 guys die, Jinx on top lane, 2 guys over there at the team fight that's happening on both sides, right? We get Jinx, we get the whole wave. My teammates make a very nice fight on bot lane, they get 3 kills. Camille might be dead as well if I'm not mistaken over here. So Echo might be able to get the kill on Camille. And I also get to get the next wave, which is coming, which is this one over here, right? And I get to get the tower as well. So this tower is worth 600 gold. So tier 2 on top, and both are worth 600 gold each. And I will get the wave as well, which will be about 750 just from those 2 things, right? The wave and the tower. 3 guys are dead, Camille is over at mid lane, so Jace is not really an issue for me even if he comes on top side. I'm full HP, I have Borg, I have QSS, Flash, ultimate is up. There is Jace, he was on both side, so we get the wave for free, the tower for free. Look for Krugs at this point. Even if I recall, I can buy quite some items, I have quite some gold, but I'm not really in danger right now. There is an opportunity on mid lane for me to go and look for a kill. I can also look to get Krugs, right? So it's a no-brainer for me to go and do this. Let's check Camille is mid lane. We're gonna be looking for Krugs. She's jumping on my Victor, but then she dies from the tower. We'll get the Krugs, I mean not Krugs, but Raptors instead. And we can be looking to, again, go towards top lane. Use Q3 over the wall like that, so Jinx will not see me. And once she comes in range, go the Q. Again, wait for her to use her E. And in this particular case, it will not really matter even if she had Flash or not, or Gale Force, because I have Ultimate. So I have Ultimate, I have my E, I have my Q3, right? So I have quite some tools to catch up to Jinx just in case she actually tries to get away from me. Alright, so quite some pressure applied right now because 2 guys are dead from their team. So 2 guys are dead. Thresh is over here, Jess is over here, Felicitas is over here as well, if I'm not mistaken. So quite some pressure on their side to try and do something, right? Because I'm pushing on top lane, and if they just leave me to do whatever I would like, I will just be out of control, right? So next wave is coming as well. As you can see, they're doing the Drake, and if somebody tries to come and fight me, I do not really mind it whatsoever. So 3 guys over there, my teammates are collapsing over there, so I have to create some pressure because pressure is applied here, right? So I have to create pressure on top side as well and force him to make a decision. Do we go for Yone or do we go for the team fight and just let Yone push by himself? So Camille TP is over there too, right? So everybody is over there and they have left me to be by myself over at top. Right now, the reason I don't push is because even if I push and I go for the tower, I'll not be able to take it in time. And the 500 damage that I might deal on the tower will not really be in any kind of significance. It will not make any difference, right? So it is much better for me to make a rotation, potentially go for this fight in case it will be still continuing. And if it is going to be over, then what I can simply do is keep on pushing on melee with this particular wave. So this fight is over here, right? So the fight is over. Top lane is being pressured by the wave that I pushed before, and I'm pressuring mid lane too at the same time right now. So Holy team is dead. Jinx is on top lane busy with this wave on the next one as well, so I can get the mid lane tower in the meantime while all of this is happening. And I maximize the amount of gold that I have, plus something else to keep in mind. I'm not quite sure if I did this in this particular game, but Rift is up. It is 18, 18, 18, or like let's say 18, 18, 20. And then once I will be done with this wave, with this tower, it will be about like let's say 19 minutes, and I'll have more than enough time to walk over here, get Rift, and then look for the recall. Right, and Rift is worth 300 gold as well if you do get the solo gold. And as a fed top laner, just like in this case, getting Rift after like at around 18, 19 minutes or so is very powerful. And the reason for that is because once you get it, you can go to the side, which is in this case it's going to be bot lane, since it's very far away from Baron, right? Which is good for me to make a rotation, potentially go for this fight in case it will be still continuing. And if it is going to be over, then what I can simply do is keep on pushing on melee with this particular wave. So this fight is over here, right? So the fight is over. Top lane is being pressured by the wave that I pushed before, and I'm pressuring mid lane too at the same time right now. So Holy team is dead. Jinx is on top lane busy with this wave on the next one as well, so I can get the mid lane tower in the meantime while all of this is happening. And I maximize the amount of gold that I have, plus something else to keep in mind. I'm not quite sure if I did this in this particular game, but Rift is up. It is 18, 18, 18, or like let's say 18, 18, 20. And then once I will be done with this wave, with this tower, it will be about like let's say 19 minutes, and I'll have more than enough time to walk over here, get Rift, and then look for the recall. Right, and Rift is worth 300 gold as well if you do get the solo gold. And as a fed top laner, just like in this case, getting Rift after like at around 18, 19 minutes or so is very powerful. And the reason for that is because once you get it, you can go to the side, which is in this case it's going to be bot lane, since it's very far away from Baron, right, which is going to be the main objective. You can push on bot lane, and if they decide to come for you on bot lane, it won't be just 1 or 2 people. Usually it will be like 3+, right? Especially in this case. Then my team can simply do Baron for free, or if they decide to go and contest Baron while I am pushing bot lane, I just simply spawn Rift, get this tower, get the inhibitor, and if I'm lucky enough and Shelly is still going to be alive, I can get 1 Nexus tower as well and get quite a few things back, right? While my teammates are creating pressure with the Baron call. So this way you're forcing them to decide, okay, do we go for bot lane and defend bot lane against the Fed Yone, right? Who also has Rift? Or do we just all go for Baron and try to flip that, right? So each single situation for them is really fucked up. Because they can't even just send, for example, 2 people on bot lane and then like 3 people on Drake, on Baron, because it's just like way too difficult. Like cannot really work like that. I can 2v1 people, right? Like even 3v1, depends on who comes. And if they go like 2 or 3 people for Baron, which is going to be against 4 of my 5 teammates, again, it's just very, but very, very difficult for them to deal with all of that at the same time. So here, I'm not really able to get this tower, right? Immediately go place the ward just in case Regina was going to be coming. Fortunately, it was a tiny bit late, so she was already here. But if she was going to be here, I was going to be able to go with ultimate, for example, or E ultimate, or just E, and look for the kill on her. Right now it is 1840. I can be looking to get frags and rift immediately afterwards, but I might have missed rifting this particular game because I was too distracted with other things happening in this game. So let's quickly skip through here. Yep, so I don't think I actually went for rift, or did I? Okay, so I went for rift with my jungler since it did started. Even at this point, since you do have some items, you can get rift much quicker. Fortunately here, Echo was much earlier on top of the spot for the eye, so I couldn't really get it even if I wanted. But this is still fine, even more pressure is created. Again, somebody might say this is true because I have 4.8k gold, almost 5k gold at this point, and I still have not recalled, but there isn't really anything like big which is going to be threatening me. Right, I have my Nautilus close by, I'm pinging him so he can come as well. And even if somebody tries to come on top lane to try and fight me, it is quite possible for me to look for the kill. So right now, I'm not really going to stay anymore. Camille is on bot lane, Jace is on top, Phil is mid lane, and two guys are missing, which is their bot low, right? So Thresh plus Jinx. So recall at this point, buy my items, which is Bloodthirster, and I'm going for Jaksha in this particular game to get some tankiness and be able to survive their burst. And right now, because I do have quite some items, quite some damage, and some defensive stats too, I can be looking for some teamfights with my team. So I can combo my ultimate with Nautilus ultimate, Nautilus Q, or his auto, or the ultimate from Kalista. Right, and it's going to be very, but very difficult for the enemy team to really do something. And right now here, just forcing Baron will have been very, but very good because we just forced the enemy team to like, okay, do we go for like to push, or do we walk up and try to do something for the Baron, right? Which both situations for them are quite fucked up. We get some poke down on Camille, and if I try to walk up over here, they are in a very bad spot. So we're just looking to try and force a mistake from them or just catch them being off guard. So I see here Thresh walking up. I can quickly get the kill on him, just like that. So we get the kill. My teammates are doing their thing in the meantime. I had 3 people busy on me, so Fiddlesticks was a very easy target, and there was no follow-up for the Fiddlesticks ultimate slash engage. And this becomes a very nice team fight for my team. In the meantime, since we have quite some life steal, we're just looking to get some HP back, W for the shield so we can tank some damage. Get the rest of our HP back. And right now, being out of vision, we can look for the EQ3, walk up like this, get the kill on whoever is up, which in this case it was Jinx. And because we have quite some life steal, we can be looking to get the rest of the things. And right now, the reason I didn't go towards topside jungle, get red buff and whatever it might have been, was because quite some camps were on the bot side jungle as well. Victory is going on topside jungle, so I would like to make it as efficient as possible for us to deny as many resources from him as possible. So that's why I split it and I went on bot side, and while he was going on topside jungle. So skipping through that, I get blue buff, I get Gromp, I go towards bot lane to push the wave as well, and I use E over here so I can get the wave as fast as possible and go to our safe spot to recall, and in this way I am also saving some time, which is very, but very crucial. Saving time in League is very important. 2 seconds, 3 seconds, 5 seconds, every single second saved is very important, and to use it as efficiently as possible. So here in this particular case, we get Jaksha, we have QSS, Borg, BT, and we also get the 88% crit with the crit cloak and bloodthirster. We get to go for the chase over here to take a look what's happening. I did use the portals, my teammates are coming, I'm making a bait over here at this point, and even if the enemy team tries to walk up towards me, I'm not really scared. Even if I was going to get CC'd, I have my QSS obviously, so this is very free for me. And here they were thinking that I was going to be vulnerable, but obviously I was not. they get to try and do something, and we force this mistake from them and punish it appropriately. There's a weapon on top side, as we can see. So we're looking to push top lane, get their top side open, just like we do in this particular case. Keep on pushing. Two guys are up, two more to be up as well. And right here, we are just backing away. Let our Victor get the inhibitor while we're backing away, right? Just making sure it is as safe as possible. Here we can be looking for the E ultimate over the wall, just in case our teammate is gonna need us. So just ultimate immediately. And then I wasn't really looking to use my E plus ult, and just to make it as safe as possible for my teammate. It doesn't really work out, but it is completely fine. We're not really in any kind of pressure situation. Just get some HP back. I see there is a fight happening. Get some HP back over here before we kill Krag. I mean, not Krag, but Gromp. Make sure to get our Q3 up. And as we can see here, Jace now we have Q3 into the bush. Not Jace, but Thresh in this particular case. Right? Let them deal some damage on me this way. And just keep them as busy as possible and wasting their time. Right? QS is coming in clutch and E as well. Camille is looking for something. They do get the kill on the Echo, but it's not a big deal since he didn't have any kind of block on him. Again, here before killing the camp, make sure to get our Q3, even more lifesteal from here, plus Q stacks. Right, get our Q3, go for the E, Q3 on an easy target. Again, go back for blue buff, stack up our Q, get some HP back. This guy's walking up, so Q3 on top of him, out of vision. Look for the ultimate to gap close on Jinx. We'll get some extra damage off, let Jinx to be on very low HP, and Kalista finishes off the kill. So here, me and Kalista do the barn ourselves, because I have Jaksha and quite some lifesteal, so I'm clunky, plus I get quite some HP back from this whole thing. And here, for my recall, I'm preferably looking to get my 2800 gold for IE. Just making sure to use ultimate to get out of there, because I was not quite sure who was going to be in Fog of War behind Thresh. And I'm not really looking to make anything risky since I have quite a big bounty on myself, and giving it away just like that for free is not what you will really be looking to do. Right, my teammates get this pick on Thresh because I was making him stay and try to contest me, taking the Raptors and whatever else. Again, go at the Wolves, get some HP back. Escape here. So my teammates are pressuring on both sides while we're pressuring mid lane, and top lane is being pressured by the super waves from the inhi that we got before. So here at this point, we're going to play it slow, let them make a mistake, be out of position, and punish them properly. Nothing to really be forced out, so we here not lose, just engages with flash Q ultimate. We get a very nice follow-up on his engage, 2-man ultimate. Jinx is dead. Fiddlestick dies as well. Camille goes in. Free kill on Camille as well. And this is basically game over. Right? So we get all the lanes, we get the kills, the waves, the towers, and game over. So this was how to play Yone against Camille, and some commentary about mid and late game. Hope you guys enjoyed it. If you would like to see more educational content like this for matchups for Yone and Yasuo, make sure to subscribe, leave a like, and share it with anybody else who would find this kind of content useful. If you would like to watch me play some live games and learn live and ask me some questions as well, you can always come over at twitch.tv/forgivenblade. Drop me a follow so you will know whenever I will go live. And